Is that you? Oh. I guess I don't know for sure if that is Ashley. Oh, there you are.
Oh, Ashley's got her. Oh, there she is.
Good morning, Iris.
Good morning.
It's nice to meet you virtually.
I don't have my camera.
That's okay.
Yeah. You as well. We'll all meet each other soon enough.
We will, May 6th, hopefully.
Hey, Jerry. Ashley, I made you co-host with me in case I get bumped off.
Perfect.
show will
And
go on.
I've got the call recording too.
Oh, okay.
So we're all set up with that.
Okay.
Well, we have a few more people.
Yeah, we're still a little early.
Mm-hmm. I decided to move my office.
Good morning.
Good morning, Jerry.
Hey, Jerry.
Hi, good morning. I'll switch to my computer in a minute so I can see everybody at once. I'm gonna make some coffee.
Hey, Thalia.
Good morning, Thalia.
I'm going to turn on my video right at the end so I can preserve my internet capacity as long as possible.
Password.
Somebody being asked for a password?
Me, Thalia.
Oh, it looks like you're on.
Okay.
Let
me see where you are here.
Yeah, all you need is to have your, when you're ready, you could turn your video on, but you're already in. If you need the passcode, oh, there you are.
There I am.
I don't think you need anything. I think you got it all.
Morning, Marcy.
Good morning.
Hi, Marcy. I'm going to risk it and put my video on.
Oh, there you are. I was going to say, where are you? Oh, I didn't get my makeup on either, so.
There are some. Go ahead, Iris.
Oh, I'm sorry. So I have a question. So have you all been meeting? Do you all know each other real well?
Nope.
I know Seth pretty well.
Yeah.
No, this is our first Artisan Network meeting. I recently hired as the network coordinator for Greater Applegate. So this is the first Artisan Network meeting that I'm hosting with all of you. And then we have one coming up in person in May. So this is my first time. I've met Jerry and Seth, and my first time meeting, and Laurel, meeting the rest of you. So
Wonderful.
you're not
and who
out
are
of the
you?
loop, Iris. My name is Ashley.
Who are
Bradfield.
you? Who are
My name's
you?
Ashley. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Excellent. My name's Ashley Bradfield.
Well,
Do a
good
little
morning.
introduction. We've got a couple more people that are supposed to be coming. We'll give them another minute and then we'll get started. Sound good, Seth?
Yeah, Ashley, maybe we could start with some quick introductions while we're waiting for people to arrive.
Sounds great. I'm Ashley. I'll start. I'm a network coordinator for Greater Applegate, and I just started at the beginning of April, and I'm super excited to be working with you all and be working with the nonprofit network and the business network. So we're going to be doing some meetings over the next several months and building some agendas together and just trying to fill the needs of our community through a Greater Applegate's mission and vision.
All right. Thank you.
I'll go. How about if I just kind of call people out so you don't have to figure out who's next? But I'm Seth. I'm the executive director of Greater Applegate, and talking more about that in a minute. Delia, how about go ahead?
I'm Thalia Truesdale. I'm branch manager at Rush Library, and I'm a weaver in my other life that I used to have, and I'm going to have again soon. So that's who I am.
Great. Marcy.
Hi, I'm Marcy Rustad. My husband and I just purchased Lavender Fields Forever last December, so we're getting our feet under us here.
Great. Laurel.
Hi, I'm Laurel Briggs. I have a company called Creative Marketing and Design based out of Jacksonville, and I assist with some of the marketing and graphics and web design of my local businesses.
Jerry.
Hi, good morning. My name is Jerry Littlejohn, and I am a flute maker. And I am also the treasurer at Pacifica. So I'm involved with the Arts Guild there. And I'm really looking forward to weaving together the Arts Guild and this Artisan Network and have a really flourishing culture of arts here in the Applegate.
Sounds good. Thank you, Jerry. Greg, good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, I'm Greg. I'm a graphic artist and public artist. Been in town for about 3 years.
Greg made designed the logo that we've been using for the Applegate Valley recently, among other things, and also working on a map that we'll be using soon.
The impossible map.
Yeah, the impossible map, right.
Mm-hmm.
Iris.
Good morning. I'm here today wearing two hats. I represent the Southern Oregon Fiber Shed, the Wild Lily Fiber Shed that has just been formed. I represent the Illinois Valley, several artisans in the Illinois Valley, and I myself have a business, a hand spinning business, Cave Woman Spinnery. So that's me. Thank you so much for letting me be part of the Greater Applegate group. I really appreciate that.
Great. Ashley, maybe we should start and see who else shows up. I know some other people are expected, but you never know.
That sounds great to me. Thank you all so much for introducing yourselves. I did a little introduction of myself. My name is Ashley Bradfield. I'm the network coordinator for Greater Applegate. I have been in Oregon for about 5 years now, and I've been in the Applegate for 3. I live in Williams currently. I'm from the Washington, D.C. area, have a background in nonprofit work, community development, education, and criminal justice reform, and also events and arts planning. So kind of this is a great amalgamation of all the things that I'm passionate about and the experience I have professionally and personally. So I'm really excited for the opportunity to meet you all and work with you all and develop and build this artisan network together. Today, we're just going to be, this is kind of an information session. We have this small business technical support loan or grant that we have through June 1st. So we have a really big push right now to make sure that all of this funding that we have gets used. And so we wanted to take this opportunity to tell you about the program and then get you set up with any questions you have to move forward so you can get your applications in to us before the deadline of June 1st. As you know, we do have a follow-up in-person meeting May 6th from 5:30 to 7:30 at Pacifica. So we wanted to have this opportunity today for those of you that maybe can't make it, or we also thought that it was a great idea. Hey, let's have an information session and put all the info out there, ask us some questions. That gives you about a week or so to work on things individually or as a group, to then meet back together on May 6th and discuss it and figure out how we could really support each other. Today, we're really fortunate to have Laurel Briggs here, who is an integral part of this grant program. She offers technical assistance, like she said, for web design development and marketing, which is one of the most important parts of actually getting our craft out there. So I'm excited to hear from Laurel today. And we also have Jerry with us, who has been an integral advocate for the Artisan Network and also allowing and providing the space at Pacifica for us all to meet in person. So we're really grateful that Jerry can be here with us as well. And Seth, of course, he's going to be telling you all the nitty-gritty details of the grant program. So we will just, move along and just kind of get started as we have other people tune in. We'll let them introduce themselves and have some time after you hear from all of us, ask some questions, sort of chat a little bit, and then make sure that you're set up for success for when we meet back together to get this funding out there and provide you the help that you may want through this grant. So thank you all so much for being here. Appreciate it. And with that, I will let Seth take it over to talk a little bit more about the grant.
Great. So I was going to share a little bit about a Greater Applegate, but everybody here except for Iris probably knows enough about a Greater Applegate that I don't have to go into that. And Iris, glad to share more with you offline. One thing I do want to let everybody know, if you don't know already, this coming week on May 5th, there's actually two big events going on. One is we're doing a vaccination event at the Rush Library. Valia, thank you very much. And I really am looking forward to getting past these Zoom meetings and having people meet in person regularly, and vaccinations is one way to do that. So if we, just really encourage people, that's from 3 to 7 in the Rush Library.
You're
Seth,
frozen.
you're breaking up a little bit.
Okay, I'm going to step in here. And can you hear me, Seth? Wonder if you can hear me.
I think the rest of us can hear you.
I got a flyer from several things from the school yesterday, because they're doing the other half of this event, and they have applications and signups and checklists and things. And I was wondering if we are going to have anything like that. Seth, I just got something from the school yesterday that they have a sign up and like an application and all kinds of things. Is there anything like that that I can be distributing or anything?
Sure. There's a we've been sending it out online, but I will send it to you. It's basically it's the same thing that they have. I'll get you a copy of it.
Okay.
Sure. Thanks.
I only have one open day to advertise this at the library, but
I know
yeah.
it's very quick. Yeah, it's happening very fast. So we'll see how that goes. But I'll get right into, I see Corbin's here. Good morning, Corbin.
Hello.
Hey, welcome. You came just in time. So to share some about the Small Business Technical Assistance Program, this is a program that, sorry, did I miss something? Okay, no. This program was created to help businesses recover from COVID. And so when we were starting to implement this in the Applegate, artists and artisans were very directly impacted by COVID. I don't think there's much of an argument about, this is particularly during the holiday season, all the events have been canceled, a lot of opportunities to sell have gone away. So we really want to make sure that all the artisans have whatever opportunities they can to promote and sell their wares. And I do want to make sure that people understand, this has come up once or twice. This is not like a traditional grant program in that you apply for us and we give you money to do your art. This is a technical assistance, and so we can give money to other people to support your business. And so that could look like if you need help setting up an accounting system or billables, or you have tax issues that you need help with, like we could help with those kinds of things. We could support business planning or business projections. And then kind of the thing that's been the most popular, and the reason that Laurel's here, is that we can also help create websites, improve your online presence, help with your marketing, and anything like that. And we also really could do, there may be other things that you need that I haven't said. Those are the things that have kind of come up. But if there's some other kind of technical or consulting support that you could use, we can help you with that. And there's no charge for it. You basically have to contact us and let us know what it is that you need. And I can let you know if it fits or not, but most things will fit in those categories. So if you're interested in talking about any of that today, you can. But what we really wanted to talk about was things that maybe we could do as a group together as well. And so I wanted to share as an example. So with the Applegate Evening Market, we're doing some pretty significant support for that. We hired a consultant to help launch the Applegate Evening Market and to help support all the vendors. And so any of the vendors that need help promoting what they do, or needing help with a website, or needing help sort of showing up and figuring out how to get their product there and all of that, we're supporting all of that. So that's kind of an example of kind of like various vendors getting together, needing some help. And so we hired one consultant to support all of them. And that
Seth, you're paused. There we go.
Can you see that?
You're back.
Can you see the visual of the Applegate Market?
Yes.
Okay. So I wanted to show you. So we created this. Laurel created this actually around the holidays, because we wanted to give small businesses and artisans in particular. Oops, I know I'm on stage here. Sorry about that. Give everybody an opportunity to promote their wares somewhere. So this is at applegatemarket.com. And if you go down here, you could just click here to get listed. And it's a very easy process to do. If you go up to the menu here, you could see one of the options is art, clothing, and music. And if you click on that, here's some of the art, clothing, and music. This takes you to various people's websites or information about them. And so we've got some up here. And for you, if you're on here and you want to improve your presence, we're happy to do that. And if you're not on here and you want either help getting on here or sort of improving your marketing potential so that it makes sense for you to get on here, we could help with that as well. But I also just wanted to show you this because we've had a little bit of feedback from artisans that this is nice, but there's something better that we could be doing. And so I wanted to make sure that you saw what we have here, and we're open to doing something better, but we would need your input on what that looks like. So I don't know if I still need to share this, but I think I'll stop sharing and come back and see what, yeah, I'm still here. That's good. So I'm gonna let Laurel talk about this a little bit, and also we'll have Jerry talk more about what's going on at Pacifica. But I wanted to kind of give people kind of a sense of what we have right now. And then when we get through all of our introductions, we want to have a little time to kind of kick around what we could do. And as Ashley was saying earlier, when we get together next week, give you some time to kind of think about what other things might we do together to support Artisan. So with that, I will turn it over to Laurel.
Sure. Hi, everyone. Yeah, so we had a meeting prior to this to just kind of kick around some possible ideas, and hoping to hear from you all. It's, you know, really it's kind of an open book in terms of what types of marketing and communications we could do for you all as a group. It sounds like there might even be a name and somewhat of a group already starting to become established. So we were thinking, you know, we could certainly, obviously there could be a website dedicated specifically to the artisans in the Applegate. And there's a number of different examples online, but something that really showcases you all as kind of individual galleries. So you could have certainly a much larger presence and a different kind of design for your business on a website that's specifically showcased for artists. There was also some ideas in terms of possibly some tours or things like that, especially as we open up a little more. So the website could also be something that's a little more geared towards specific events that you might hold, and pairings with, there's been a lot of interest from the wineries, especially to start collaborating more with local artists in Applegate, along with different types of tasting events. So, you know, a good example, I've been helping support the Applegate Wine Trail now for about 8 years, and they've seen a lot of benefit from coming together and collaborating with one another, supporting each other, and then also having their own individual marketing as well. So it becomes kind of a bigger draw to get people out into your area by forming kind of a group and then really showcasing everything that everyone is about out there, but also making yourself easy to be found. So in terms of marketing and communications and things I could help support, obviously we could build a website for your group. We were talking about possibly anybody who might have interest in that to form a little subcommittee, and we could meet and really kind of hash through some of the specifics of what that could look like. We are under a little bit of a time constraint, so really just getting something going sooner than later would be a priority, but it's something that could certainly be built on or added to in the future. So other things, obviously the website, I can help support you know, design and print materials, can certainly help with some public relations locally as well. I have a lot of media lists and some connections that we can also help do some promotion potentially that way. Anything in terms of like a marketing strategy or plan for the group with some suggestions for how you might market locally. Email marketing, we can set up social media plans with booths. We also have a photographer that we've been collaborating with for the Applegate Market site. She was able to go out and do some photo shoots as well. So if you're in need of some high quality photos of your work or your place, that's also a possibility within the grant to take advantage of that. And then even possibly, I'm not sure if we'd have enough time for it, but video work is becoming kind of king on the internet right now as well. So even possibly some video work could be incorporated into all of these methods as well. So really just looking to you all, you know, what are your ideas? What do you need? And would you support the idea of kind of working together on a project like this? And we would need, I think some of your voices would go a long way in helping corral all of the artists there in the community. So we're just here to really support you and getting your word out. So that's kind of my thoughts so far.
Before we turn it over to Jerry, I did want to say that, so if we get a sense of what Laurel or what any work that needs to happen, even though the grant expires actually on June 30th, and June 1st seemed like a good date to say we should know, like if there's a project coming up, we kind of need to know what it is so we can kind of plan for it and price it out. But if we can price it out, I'd be willing to kind of take the risk on the, sort of the, even though the grant expires on June 30th, we'll just bill it. We'll bill it up front, just to kind of make sure that, we can kind of do what needs to happen, even if things take longer than June 30th to get finished. So, but the key thing is that we need to at least know what the projects will be so we can kind of figure out what that is. And I just want to invite Jerry. Jerry's, along with being an artist, is with Pacifica, and Pacifica has had a long role with artists and artisans in this area, and just to kind of share anything that Jerry wants to share about Pacifica's partnership in all of this.
Thanks, Seth. Yeah, so, I mean, some of you, I'm not sure how many of you, and those who are watching this later, Pacifica has been having a winter arts fair that has, I think they've had the 20th maybe would have been this winter. So that will be continuing, and then building on that winter fair, we're really looking, based on some of the communication that I had heard, some of the other listening sessions, the possibility of having a summer into fall craft and concert series at Pacifica. So it's also something that is possible and also would require, some more engagement than just Pacifica. We did just also hire a very part-time outreach events coordinator to help with things like that. So possibilities that we can work on are, having a series. Another thing is that I've heard interest in, and Pacifica and this artisan network can partner on, would be putting together a studio tour that could potentially have a website. I've participated in that when I lived in North Carolina, and there was a really good one called the Weaverville Art Safari. And I'm going to turn my speaker up. And so they would have those events. They would both have a studio tour and have locations for people whose studios were either remote and not necessarily well suited for visitors. So if we decided as a group that we wanted to promote something like that, Pacifica partner by allowing a certain number of artisans to locate there, and that could be a place where people pick up a map. And then there's usually signage, and people can just journey around. I think the one that I participated in North Carolina is also like 16, 18 years old, really successful and popular. And also just the place of partnership for what other people have as ideas. I mean, one thing Pacifica has is space and infrastructure, parking, restrooms, a big gathering hall. We're building a big outdoor pavilion, gotten some other outdoor tents. So we have a history of people coming. I think the Winter Arts Fair is small. It usually gets, I think, about 500, 600 people showing up without a great amount of promotion in the past. And I did actually reserve, there are, I think every 6 weeks, I reserved a date to hold on it at Pacifica. So if that is something that we want to move forward with, there's the space has been carved out. And I think that.
Yeah, but quickly. Packed together. Sherry, did you have an idea of those dates, if they were going to be weekends, evenings, weekdays?
Well, right now what I have is Sundays, like every.
I see some excitement.
I've been at the library for 13 years, and for 13 years I have not been able to participate in Pacifica. I work Saturdays, so I love Sundays.
Yeah, so Saturdays we often have weddings, so it's like Sundays are good. Even like Sunday, Sunday music in the garden, like right now. I mean, the pollinator garden was planted a few years ago. Now it's pretty stunning. So the idea of having that as a backdrop and people coming, and I'm pretty sure that most of I think what I spaced it is they're like close to the cross quarters of the year. So that's also great for community gathering in this area. Any other questions? And there is also a possibility, but yeah, I was gonna say, I think there's other possibilities for really getting ready to act as a community center. Have some bridge groups and other things, and hopefully work our way up to maybe having like a weekday evening concert. And so there's always the capacity for that. I guess the other thing I want to bring up that I remember we had talked about with some of the other like different than the technical grant, but places that we can partner up, is if we really build a strong artisan network, that the different markets, like the Rush one and the Grants Pass one, potentially having like an artisan network booth as a nonprofit where we can showcase some of our work with and take turns going to the market, but really have a presence and showcase like it's different when people see in person samples of all the kinds of work that are available to then go on studio tours, or if we do cultivate that highlights the different places, like just letting people see some examples of the work.
I love your ideas, Jerry. I love your ideas. I think they're really dynamic and good. And I loved participating in the Winter Arts Fair. I've done that like 4 times, I think, and it's a wonderful event. So I'm really excited that you want to expand that.
So are we. I think Jerry and I have had some great conversations along with Laurel and Seth of figuring out ways that we can continue to grow this artisan network. And, we encourage all of you, if you know people that want to be a part of it, this is not just for visual artists. We want to include musicians and clothing makers and all different types of artisans. So we sort of expanded the name from being the Artist Network to the Artisan Network, because we want to include all of the different types of talents that people in our communities have. So I definitely encourage you, if there's people that in the Applegate that want to be a part of it, please invite them, connect them with me or Seth, and Jerry, any of us, and we'll be really happy to continue to build that, because there's so many talented people throughout this valley, and it's just a matter of getting us all connected and making sure that we can support each other and use these amazing services that a Greater Applegate and Pacifica has to work together. So I really appreciate also Jerry's enthusiasm and ideas, because there's so much room for partnership and growth there. So thank you so much for sharing, Jerry. Seth, do you want to sort of move into a Q&A kind of thing, or what are you thinking? I can't see you, so.
Yeah. No, I think it would be good if people we kind of shared what we're thinking, and kind of get your thoughts on, does any of this land with you? Anything seem interesting? Do you have different ideas, or do you just have questions about anything you've heard? Just kind of open it up.
One thing I have heard is that because I'm very interested in open studios. I think that an open studio tour is a very wonderful thing. But I've heard from several people that it's not going to fly anymore, or at least these days, because of people, growers and fences and other things that are not, people are not nearly as open. And I think it's a great idea to have an open studio and, local places that are, gatherings for people who don't want to have people at their place. I think that's just a fantastic solution for everybody. I'm all for that.
Yeah, and I want to add that. Oh, is that me? I want to add that Marcy here is so she's the new owner, or newish at least owner of the Lavender Fields Forever, and they've been talking about providing space for things on the Jackson County side of the valley. So it could be that between Pacifica and Lavender Fields Forever, and maybe there's some that we can sort of have, we could address that concern by having kind of landing spots or hubs for people to collect and see what's going on.
Mhm.
And I just put Lavender Fields Forever on the map, but I can't even remember where it was. So
It's
I
on
remember
Hamilton.
writing it on the map.
It's on Hamilton Road, so it's really close to 238 and about
Okay.
15 minutes out of Jacksonville.
But it's a lot closer to 238 than the English lavender.
Yeah, English is pretty far off
Uh-huh.
the main road, but it's less than 2 miles.
Okay, but you're right off Thompson Creek Road.
We're right off of Upper Applegate.
Oh, okay. And you're
So it's that little triangle, it intersects 238 on one side and Upper Applegate, and it's just a little.
It's the road that goes past Kendall Buckley Park.
oh,
Right.
okay.
Yeah.
Right. What road is that? Hamilton?
Hamilton.
Okay, right. And it's been a lavender farm for a while, right?
It has, yeah, about.
Okay,
10
yeah,
years.
that's real close to where I live. So I
Oh, cool.
remember writing it on a map and not paying any attention to where it was.
Well, we're still planning the two big lavender festivals are still on the calendar, so hopefully COVID
Yeah,
will not
okay.
get in the way. Come on over.
Yeah, and you have space there, like for a lot of parking and all that kind of fun stuff.
Well, there's a 3,000 square foot barn, about 1,800 square feet can be used to do things in. And we can pretty easily get 40 cars probably on the property.
Okay. Uh-huh.
So for smaller event kind of things.
Okay. Yeah, I've had so many ideas that I could go on and on probably for an hour, just airing out like event arts kinds of ideas where they're more outdoor sculpture garden related, or kinetic like 238 cruise, like an art cruise where people do something to their vehicles and their cars and do a little cruise back and forth. And I've seen these things work in a lot of other places, and I've been in charge of managing some of these programs before in Chico, California, where I used to live, and they were a lot of fun and a lot of work, and they got a lot of good press, and that's one of the things I thought about in this area, just getting more attention with the kind of the regional media, getting in the news and getting a lot of exposure as something fun, as a destination that can happen, that bring creative people over here, and also includes just a lot of people that don't think of themselves necessarily as artists, but they're creative people with fun ideas, and they would say weld up some Mad Max contraption that would drive down the road, or some amazing art thing that would survive traveling on a flatbed trailer, kind of a highway speed parade. And so I just think of all these things that I think would be fun. They'd need to have a staging area somewhere, and of course be when the normal traffic isn't too high, or like a low traffic time, or you know, when I lived in Arizona, we had this sculpture garden outside the Goldenstein Gallery that people would just, you know, I got like my own little piece of real estate on the sculpture garden where I could just build things and put them up and sell them through that gallery. And that was really fun. It was, I sold more through that little patch of sculpture garden than anywhere. And so that's another thing I'd love to see happen around here, or maybe make happen myself.
Yeah. Those are all great ideas, Greg. I like that. This is Iris. I have a question for Laurel. If we're very, very interested we're in dire need of a good photographer. We're producing some really cool things, but it's hard to display them properly online and stuff. So I'm really interested in what we could do, potentially working with you. How do I ask you?
Sure.
How do I?
Yeah, if you wanted to send me a note with maybe even some photographs that you have already, just to give the photographer an idea of you know the product and what you're looking for. She can come out and shoot on site. She also has a studio that she can set up in any number of, you know, backdrops or anything, and she does a really good job of just individual product photos as well. So it would just be kind of like a wish list, shot list, something you need, just a rough maybe image of the products, and then I could get with her, and usually she can respond pretty quickly, even within a week or two, and get those done.
Okay. And do we all have your email?
I think we could certainly.
I'm sending them all in the chat.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to send all of our emails in the chat right now.
Okay. Thank you. And we also need help developing a website for the group as well. People have individual websites, but it would be really nice to have one started for the Fiber Shed. But we will talk about that.
This is a little bit of a non sequitur, but I want to throw it in there to Iris just to say I'm not sure what you all are doing with the Fiber Shed. Pacifica has like a gazillion looms. Just put that out there, and we can talk about it later.
Oh, wow.
To see if there's a possibility of doing something with them.
Oh, that would be great. That's one of our goals, is to really increase that level of knowledge in the community and work, you know, artisan work and stuff. And we're also partnering with the new fabric collective that opened up in Ashland recently. They're very excited about joining the Fiber Shed, and so we're off to a really strong start. And that's wonderful to know. Thanks.
So maybe there's some way to partner up on that with
Absolutely. That would be great. That would be super great.
Okay. Because it makes me sad. They're all just sitting on a shelf.
Yeah, yeah.
Bunch of tabletop looms.
Oh, that's great. That's the best thing to learn on.
So as a group, we've gotten some great feedback of things that we could consider doing together, and sort of specifically with this loan and grant that we want to get something in place so that it can support everybody. Is there anything as a group that you see would benefit the artisan network in the Applegate, sort of collectively, all of us having different backgrounds, different trades, different crafts? Would that be working on the Applegate Valley Marketplace? Would that be developing a collective, a name? I'm just kind of throwing some ideas out there to see sort of any other specific things that, if there's an interest in a collective artisan network, that we're able to use that and then partner with Pacifica on that. Is that something that strikes anybody's interest?
Yes.
Yeah,
and what does that look like?
Well, I'm very excited in the prospect of having a marketplace that expands summer, that artisan and concert series from the summer into the fall. That would be wonderful. And I would be willing to volunteer to support that, bringing that together and helping with that in whatever way you need. That would be absolutely wonderful to just have a place that we could go regularly that was expanding out of our area and bringing in whatever textile artisans and stuff that are out there. It's a really good way for us to bring that all together. So we would love to support that.
Great. Yeah, I think maybe, maybe we put that in the invite for when we gather in person to see if that we can do 2 parts and see if there's other people also who want to come together. Maybe we can bring to a small group to kick off that there. And then one thing I had thought about, and I had shared, I think, with Laurel and Seth, and maybe we should share with Artisans, was if we do want to build out a group website, is to design with, if we think that a studio tour, open studio tour with these other like locations that people can gather at, is to look at some sites that are set up for that, and that we can build tour part of it, like design it knowing that that's where we want to end up with something that also can host a studio tour as the built into the website design, if that makes sense. Or be thinking about what would that look like.
Yeah.
I know when you just put up the marketplace stuff, because I was looking and I was like, oh, that stuff's all, even on the page, it's kind of like not sorted by, like what I was seeing on the screen wasn't really sorted by the type of art, and that we may want to think about, yeah, just polishing that up a little bit, having it sortable either just, by name, but also by, a lot of them are by, all the fiber artists in one place and all the ceramic artists in one place, and just kind of put that framework together so as we grow, it's really clear.
Yeah, I would ask people if you could look at the applegatemarket.com between now and next week and just see, what you like about it and what you wish were different, and, additions that we're talking about here. That would be really helpful.
Yeah, will do.
So I'm not able to attend on a Thursday evening, and I'm wondering what an alternative would be for me to have to be involved in this, and when our next opportunity might be to meet.
So as far as between now and Thursday, if there's ideas that you just want to share, I mean, you could share those with Ashley, or me, but Ashley's kind of the collector of everything at this point. And we don't have set meetings going forward. So, I think we can have a conversation about, we were trying to do things really fast because we wanted to kind of get some input before this.
Right.
If we don't spend this money, we have to give it back, and I'd rather not. But so that was kind of where that was coming from. But yeah, going forward, I think we could, what's a good day and time for everybody. We are very, as an organization, we're certainly, we meet all days and times. So.
Yes, and that's something that as we sort of move forward in setting these meetings, Thalia, that we'll work together and figure out times that works for everybody. I know that all of us have, wear different hats. And so finding a time that works for everybody. And that's one of the reasons why Jerry had suggested maybe this Zoom call is just being able to include people who may not be able to make it in person. This could be a little bit more accessible since we also are kind of all spread out over a large valley. So trying to be creative of ways that we can meet and that everybody gets the opportunity to work together and take advantage of the opportunities that we have. So I definitely look forward to your input on that, especially as I settle into this new role. Figuring out what works for everybody is one of the most challenging and and also important parts of it. So thanks for that. Jerry?
I was just saying, even in this small group, like straw poll, weekdays or weekends, which is better? Sarah?
Sundays are hard for me, but almost any other time. Wednesdays are super nice. Wednesday night would be great. So I'm pretty flexible, and most of the people that I'm representing are pretty flexible as well. So, but I'm kind of with Thalia. Saturdays not so much. Saturdays are really busy. So
Fridays, Saturdays are bad for us.
Well, I'm good. Wednesdays are great for me. Wednesdays and Sundays are really the only days I have, so.
I'm curious, how many groups or individuals are signed up for the Wednesday night market? I looked at it. It looks like the list is not available yet. I mean, is there a way for us to know ahead of time who's there?
There should be. I'll ask that question. Last I heard there were 18, but that was a while ago. That was at least 2 weeks ago. So
I believe I saw the list somewhere. Let me look in a little bit, Marcy, and I can see if I can find it for you.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't see it when I pulled it up.
And is that a seasonal market or year round?
It's going to be weekly into the fall.
and how do I sign up for that?
For the Applegate Evening Market.
Yes. Am I allowed to go to that?
Yes.
You know, Seth, you and I talked about maybe, yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's open to anybody. I will connect you, Iris, to Allison, who's the consultant on that, and she can sign you up.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that's funny because I heard several people say Wednesday night's good, but there's a Wednesday night market.
Oh, okay.
And I'm wondering also if there's, at one point we had the Williams market moved inside at Pacifica, but it wasn't super strong. But I'm wondering there's also the capacity maybe to have an indoor market, depending on what's going on, like once that seasonal part is over. And but if it's not Wednesday night, also what I thought was there is the ability if it's not too far for people to come and we wanted to have traction to kind of have some kind of art activity on the regular at Pacifica that also is like a meeting combined with bringing other people in, so it actually becomes more dynamic, and we're meeting and doing our work and also inviting people in to meet with other artisans and bridge that, community artisan, like build those relationships, get more volunteers, maybe, there are people who I think would love to support artisans that aren't necessarily artisans that would be really great to tap.
Yeah.
Because once we're really in our flow making things, we all know how time and energy get split. So
yeah, I think one of the questions, this is actually the third of these meetings with artists and artisans that we've put together, and each one has had probably half as many people show up as signed up. So I think there's some kind of a question of like kind of building enough capacity, that people kind of make it and participate. And I think there's a kind of a chicken and egg thing. I think people participate once there's something to participate in, and then there's also like, getting enough people that we actually know we have something.
Agreed, Seth. Which is why you should all feel free to invite any artisans that you think would be interested in joining us.
Is there another weeknight other than because of the market, that since we're the ones who are here, just curious, you know, I mean, doing a
Monday.
poll, of course, is always good, but just curious, those who are here, like
Monday, we're talking about nights or evenings. I can do any evening but Thursday.
I can do any
Well,
evening.
What did you
Pretty
say,
much.
Iris?
I can do any evening.
any weekday?
Yeah.
Okay. What
I
about
can
you,
do
Corbin?
yeah, weekday evenings are fine for me. Weekends are hard. So Monday through Thursday, any of those days work, as long as it's evening.
Got it.
Is evening like 6 to 8, or is it at, later?
6 to 8 works great for me.
6 to 8 works good for me, Steph. I don't want to go too much. I wouldn't want to go later than 8.
Mhm. We have, next week's is scheduled from 5:30 to 7:30. So hopefully that isn't, a good compromise of time for everybody as well next Thursday. Thalia had asked, and Marcy, I sent out the emails of everybody in our chat. Greg, I don't have yours. So if you don't mind sending that, and then I don't have all of your business names handy. So if you don't mind just going into the chat and typing that in, that way we can all, that's a great question, Thalia and Marcy, so we can all stay connected. So everybody will have access to everybody's email through this chat. So if you want to collaborate over the next week or so to come up with some ideas before we meet together again next week, that would be great. Thalia, did you have a question?
Yes, how do we get this list of emails out of the chat, and where does it go?
So if you go to the bottom on your screen, it'll say chat. If you click that, it should pop up. And then I've got the emails there. If you can just copy and paste them, because once the Zoom, once we get off the Zoom, then the chat disappears. I can also send them all out in an email too, if that works better for everybody.
That works for me.
Okay.
That would be great. Yeah.
An email? Okay. So if I don't have, there's a few of you, if you don't mind just sending me a message with your business name, I can add that into our contact list as well.
I have a question, being new to kind of all this activity and conversation and the grant, just for clarification. One is, so there's the group activity, but there's also, these are available more on an individual basis as well. So it wouldn't have to be just the group. Is that correct?
That's correct. If you're a business and you have at least one employee, which could be you, then you are eligible for this.
Great. And for this group, have you defined artisan? I mean, we've talked more like about arts and different things, but there's all kinds of people who are making artisan bread or artisan foods or artisan crafts, or, so I'm just wondering what your boundaries are that you've put around this conversation, if any.
Yeah, it's a little, we haven't, I mean, we've had this conversation in a lot of different ways, because there are the artisan culinary track, and we weren't thinking of this as that. But we were trying to make space for people who do custom crafts. So that's kind of how we were thinking about it, is fine arts and custom crafts. And sometimes there's those kind of bleed over into each other. Like Jerry's flutes, for example, people buy those because they're flutes, but they're also beautiful. So, that was one of the places where we were thinking that, what's art and what's artisan.
Right. And then where does the people who have their product marked artisan, that's more of a product? I mean, so we fall in that category because there's all kinds of things that come off the farm, you know, oil buds, product, you know, lotion, you know, all kinds of things. So how does that fit in for
Well,
farms that are producing product?
right. So we also are creating a local food system network, and that includes you know, everything that comes from farms and ranches and all the things that it gets turned into from there. So that, you know, that sort of another group. I mean, if you all feel like there should be more, you know, like it's not up to us really to define. If you have a different definition, we can go with that. But just, you know, sort of answer the question as we were thinking about it. That there are in the local food system one, we have, you know, there English Lavender Farms is part of that one, for example.
So like,
And I think, go ahead.
Artisan, artisanal. I mean, I'm thinking about even with the marketplace, you know, fine arts, custom crafts, aftermarket product, you know, like, yeah. And then the gradations of, that was some of the feedback on the, you know, it's like, even with the Winter Arts Festival, like how, you know, is it juried, or like it has not been a juried thing, and what's the level of that? Do we want to have like some level of juried things, some things that are more open, and how to, but that's a bigger group conversation. My question before I forget is there a limit to how many people can be at the Wednesday market? You said
They're certainly not
like,
there at this point. There probably is a limit, but they're nowhere close to it.
Yeah, and so Ashley, I heard you say music as like artisan. So yeah, I mean, I did. I literally wrote down like define artisan.
I do think that they've hit their limit
for
because I
ourselves,
heard
and I
there
think
was.
that would be a good.
What's that, Corbin? You said they hit their limit?
Oh, I had just recently heard about the Wednesday market, and when I contacted them, they said they're full. They have a wait list.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let me.
Yeah. So that was going to be my question, because I'm not ready. You know, I was curious if it was set up in a way to have some floating booths for people, whether they reserved any for people to do intermittent ones, because not everybody can do everyone. So.
Okay, let me see what I could find out and see if they can get word out about that. So some of the questions, I know we have to go here in a minute, but I do think that some of these questions are really to be answered by this group, as this group, you know, sort of becomes something. You know, like if certainly, you know, Ashley and I aren't going to jury anything. So
Seth, we can't hear you anymore.
If I
Well,
turn off my video, maybe we can hear Seth.
To say I'll jump on where Seth sort of broke off. And I think essentially I'm gonna take maybe some words out of his mouth, hopefully, is really what we're looking for is for you all to tell us what you need. We're not here, a Greater Applegate is here to listen and here to work with you on building a vision for our community, and we're just facilitating these conversations. And especially for me as the network coordinator, my role is just to coordinate all of you and set up times and spaces for us to meet, for us to have these conversations and build what that's going to look like. So the more participation we get from artisans in our community and businesses and nonprofits and farms, that's how we're going to sort of define what this looks like moving forward for us and for our networks. So that's, you know, really important to have everybody's voice, and the fact that you're all here today is really wonderful, and it means, you know, a lot to show us that you're interested in what we're doing and that we can support each other. So I think that what, you know, Seth and I really want to encourage is to continue these conversations, to participate in them, to continue them offline with each other, and reaching out to any of us with questions, with connections that can be made, and then using these meetings as an opportunity to define what Artisan means to you, what it means to the community, and how we can move forward. Seth?
Wonderful.
That sounds great. That sounds perfect. Thank you.
So, well, we're just about out of time. So everybody should have, I'll send an email to everybody on this list with each other's contact information and business names. And then I will be sending out a reminder next Thursday from 5:30 to 7:30 at Pacifica. We're going to have our in-person meeting. So we really encourage you all to come out, and we can meet each other in person, bring any other local artisans that you think would be interested in participating. And, you know, we want to make sure that we are able to really have some strategy with using this this funding that we have. So like Seth said, check out the Applegate Marketplace online. Please come with some feedback for that. And then we will work with Sherry on some collective ideas for if we're, you know, moving forward with market, in-person, music series, and then how this grant can help support that collective goal. Does anybody have any final questions or thoughts before we log off?
Just a final comment that we did record this. So if you want to, you know, it was so scintillating. If you want to share it with somebody else, we could forward it to somebody else if they're interested.
Thank you
Yes, and
so much.
Thank you all
I have
so
one
much
more
for
thing to
being
say.
here.
I have one more thing to say. My name's Thalia with a long A. Thalia. Just thought I'd throw that in.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much.
All right.
And I hope to hear something about what happens on Thursday night. I would be very interested in that. So
Thank you,
We will
Thalia.
certainly follow up. Thank you.
It
We will
was
see
nice
you
to
all
see
soon.
everyone.
Thanks so much.
Thank you all.
thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.